Hi, I'm Rebecca. Welcome to my sewing room. This is So Be It. This week I am making a vintage reproduction 1970s pattern, McCall's M8258. You can either do the dress or the shirt. There is multiple lengths. I originally wanted to make this long length, but I did shorten it a little bit because it was very, very long. This pattern was re-released in 2022, so I actually don't know what year. I didn't do the research to find out what year this pattern was originally released. To make this pattern, you can use cotton blends, challis, gingham, or stable knits. There's also a contrast for A and B, which is the dress here, or this dress and the shirt. There's lace or eyelet. I did buy some lace because it said a package of stretch lace is possible to use, but it's not the same sort of thing like this. I got the size that the pattern called for, and it's not wide enough for those pieces, so I don't know that I'm going to use it. We'll see in the video as I go ahead and make this. That's when I'm going to decide. I'm also putting the sleeves on the dress. I don't love sleeveless dresses, and I do like big flowy fun sleeves, so that is what I chose to do. So I've been shopping the JoAnn's going out of business sale multiple times, and one of the times, I think the first time I went, so it was a while back, I found this very pretty eyelet lace, or eyelet cotton. And so I'll be using this fabric to make this dress. If I do end up applying the lace to the neckband and the midriff, this is the lace I got. I have all of my pieces cut out and ready to go. I do still have to cut out some interfacing. There's only 2 pieces that use interfacing. Amazingly enough, it's not the shoulders or the front band. It is the underarm facing or the side facing. So that was pretty interesting, but that must need a little bit of extra stability. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of my notches and my dots marked because this pattern is covered in a lot of dots. And then I will be back to go ahead and get the sewing started. I will mention that when I was tracing the pattern, this is a missus. I needed to trace a size 16 for the top and a 22 for the waist and hips. I also made a mock-up to make sure that the size 16 is going to fit correctly, and it will fit great. So the sizing that I have done will work out. However, I didn't realize until I made my mock-up of the bust that this is a very, very loose pattern. There's no zippers, there's no buttons, there's no elastic. There is a tie, a waist tie that you can see in the line drawings on the back that will cinch in the waist and give the shape. So I probably didn't need the mock-up, and I probably actually did not need to make it a size 22 because there is, I think, let me find there's 9 inches of ease in the hips. So I probably didn't have to go all the way up to the size 22 based on my measurements, but I did anyways. I like the big flowy dresses. So I think that's all I need to mention before I get started with sewing. So the first step of this dress is to sew the band. So the shoulder bands, the front band, and the back band together. I also have 2 layers of this. Because there's a facing layer. So I'm gonna go ahead and make both of those at the same time and then press the seams open. The construction I am going to do a little bit differently. So once I get to that point that it changes on the pattern, I will let you know. So this is the front, the back, and the shoulders. And then I have the facing here as well. The straps or the seams are all pressed and ready. That it's not the right way here. This pattern originally has just the neck finished, so stitching right sides together right now and pressing that out, and then stitching the raw edges or basting the raw edges so that it can then be met up with the dress pieces. But I have gone ahead and pressed my edges about 1/4 inch in because I'm going to use those as actual facings and encase the seams in these as well, so I don't have any raw edges. I'm probably, because I only cut one midriff piece, not thinking about the raw edges there, I'm going to probably cut another midriff piece and do the same thing with that. Now that that is together, the next step is to gather the upper, front, top, and bottom and attach that to the front of this piece. All right, so I have the bust portion attached and both of the midriff portions. On the facing, again, I have it pressed up 1/4 inch on the bottom so that I can hand stitch that to the bottom of the skirt and encase the seams. So all of the seams except for the side seams or the underarm seams will actually be encased in all of these facings. I have to add the skirt front to this dress, so I have to gather the top of the, I guess it's the lower front, which is the skirt part of the dress. So I have to gather the top of that and then attach it to the bottom of this midriff. And then I will be able to pin this in or pin this down, but I probably won't do that quite yet. All right, so far I have the front of the dress completed and the midriff facing that I have added is on there, and it's all hand stitched at the bottom, ready to go. Next step is to stitch the back panel onto the back of the dress. All right, so the back panel is now attached to the dress. Those are all raw edges, but remember I have a facing for the shoulders, the front and back band that I will be putting on here after, probably after the majority of this whole thing is put together, maybe once I get the sleeves on, which is the next step. The sleeves are very big sleeves. The top has to be gathered between, I think between the notches. I have to double check, but I'm going to go ahead and do that hem first. It's a very thin 1/4 inch rolled hem, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So both of the sleeves are hemmed all the way around and then to the first dot on both of the top edges. I also have both of them gathered between the small dots. There's one here and then there's one here. So I have my gathering stitches in there right now. So I'm going to go ahead and gather these up and pin these right sides together to the shoulders, matching all of the large dots and the small dots and the notches. And I'll be stitching that. I'll be stitching both of those and then I'll be back to tell you the next step. Honestly, how cute are these sleeves? I love them. I still have to press these seams towards the neck so that for the most part, the majority of the sleeve seams will be encased in the shoulder and band facing. Not all of it though. Some of it will be on the side seams of the dress, and those are the only seams that will not be encased. So I have not trimmed them yet, but I am also going to press them once I get my sides put on the dress, which I think is the next step. It is. The next step is the sides, putting the sides on the dress. It's about, we're gonna go with about 8 to 9 inches wide underneath the arm. There are side panels in this dress. The first thing I have to do is prepare the side panels with their facing. There's an underarm facing that just attaches to the side panel. So I'll be stitching, I have to interface my facings, and then I will be stitching the facing and the side panel right sides together, pressing that out, and then also under stitching the facing, and then I will be attaching the side panel to the front and back seams both, and I'll be back once I'm finished with that. So I do have the side panels with their facing interfaced, all ready to go, so that is prepped. And I thought the next step was putting the side panels, or attaching the side panels to the front and back panels, but that is not true. The next thing I have to do is the belt, the tie belt, because that has to be stitched to the side panels before they are attached to the rest of the dress, because those are stitched into the seams. And I think it's the front seams, if I remember correctly. I'm not positive. So for the ties, they are a nice wide piece, nice long strips. I have 2 of them. I have to fold those right sides together, just out down the middle, and stitch the two straight edges, because there's one edge with a point, and the dots, which is where it will match the side seams or the raw edges of the dress. So I'm gonna go ahead and stitch those, and then I'll have to turn them right side out and press them and attach those to the side panels, and then attach the side panels to the rest of the dress. Once I'm to that point, I will be back to show you what I have, and then it'll probably just be hemming after that. So, okay, we are to, I think I showed you already, this point here. The dress is finished except for the facing at the top, over the shoulders, and the front and back band. So I have the facing all stitched together, ready to go. I did this way earlier, pressed, and my edges aren't pressed quite as well as they were originally, but that's okay. So I will be putting these, if I can find the front and the back right there. This one's the back. I put a little B on it right there. Right sides together. I'll be pinning the neck part here, stitching this, and then pressing this to the inside, under stitching at least the front and back, hopefully the shoulders too, as much as I can. I know I won't be able to get all the way to the corners here, like these corners. They won't all be able to be understitched, but that'll be okay. And then once that's done, I'm going to press the whole thing inside, and then I will be hand stitching the edges here to the inside and encasing as many seams as I can. So that will be the next, that's what I'm working on now. After that, I just have to hem it, and we know how to do that, so that'll be done off camera. So I will be back with the final product. Okay, I am not finished yet, so this is not the final product. I did want to mention, I have it all stitched together. I was able to understitch the entire inside, even at the corners. I just went really slow. I do have it pressed. It's not all pinned in and ready to be stitched yet, which is why it's kind of sticking out and flapping, but it is all pressed nice. One tip that I did want to say, I have two of these and I can't find my other one right now. This is the sleeve. What are these things called? I forgot. Oh, pressing hams. This is the sleeve pressing ham. I have one for the shoulder and the neckline, and it looks kind of like an egg. It is the exact same sort of fabric. And I can't find it right now for some reason. It was here and then suddenly it was gone. So get yourself some pressing hams because these are amazing to help press things that you can't get like onto your ironing board. So you've got multiple layers. This will put a space between the layers of fabric. Also, this will help any curves that you have to iron. This will help you form them. So, little tip, get yourself some pressing hams and learn how to use them. I use them all the time. I didn't really think I would, but I do. Okay, so now I need to pin all of this down and then whip stitch all the way around the entire facing and then hem. All right, so that is my dress. It's a really easy pattern to make. It's very not fitted, so it will adjust as my size adjusts. So if you're somebody who fluctuates a lot in your sizes or in your weight, this is a really good dress to make. I love that you can also make it as a top. The top does still have the ties on it, but if you're into one of those just flowy loose tops, you may also be able to get away with making this as without ties. I do like how I made sure that all of my edges were finished. I overlocked the side seams of the dress so that they wouldn't fray. But encasing all of my other seams, I really like that. It'll make sure that this dress lasts for a long time, and I will be able to wear it for a long time. The sleeves are really fun and flowy. They make for perfect all-around ability to move, so that's really nice if you don't like anything tight. One thing I wish I would have done was add pockets. It's not bad without pockets, but I always like my dresses to have pockets, and the front side seams instead of the back side seams would make a good pocket location. It's not too far to the front. So little tip, if you are making this and you like to add pockets, it is available to do. I also shortened this dress I did shorten it, but at the short dress hemline, I elongated my dress about 8 inches from there. So this is not as long as the long version, but I didn't want it completely to the ground. And if I would have done the long version, I would have had about a 2-inch hem because it was that much too long. I think that's all I have for you. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button for me. If you want to make sure you see all of my videos, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to be notified every single time I post a video, go ahead and hit that notification bell. Thank you for watching Rebecca's Sewing Room.